Hey, Ivan, just to give you a heads up, if you're working the desk, I want you to keep this in mind because Ryan Levasseur, who works with TV Diner, started out as the secretary for Charlie. He wanted to get into TV, but he was just a secretary, but now he's helping produce TV Diner. So the point is he got in there and paid some dues, if you want to put it that way, but he put himself in position. That way, when the opportunity came up, he can go out there and get it. So you just got to make yourself right there and be ready.
I think that's really key because it's a very fine line between bugging people and then knowing when it's an appropriate time to get back in. Certainly, I think that there are times when you do not talk to someone who's about to go on the air. 5 minutes before the newscast, not really a good time. Perhaps an hour before the newscast. But and so that's the other thing that I would say is for my industry, for our industry in television, because we're all in television. Although I'm sure newspapers and magazines have their own set of deadlines if they're dailies or online things like that. But for example, 2 o'clock usually a decent time to talk to people. Well, maybe I should say 1 o'clock is actually a good time. People around 2, they're on their afternoon meetings, and then people kind of are out the door and on their stories. In the morning, maybe around 10 o'clock is a decent time to try to call because that's after the morning meeting and people can, usually have a minute or so to check their email. Even sort of getting to know the rhythm of whatever the organization is so that you better your chances of perhaps knowing when to talk to people appropriately, I think is good. And I remember when I started as an intern at Channel 5, I was 27 at the time. I did this after I did a different career, and I sort of had to concoct taking classes at night at Harvard because I had already graduated and I couldn't take any internship. So I got my film teacher to just sign off on this slip, and you may have to, be inventive. Yep. And on the weekends I would go in and people were like, why are you always here? And then some of the people in management were frankly upset with me because I was going out and I was doing stories with John Travolta and with Steve Martin, and they were mad and saying, who are you and what is this girl doing and why do you think you're so great? And I'm like, I don't, but I'm eager and I think that I'm going to try, and if you want to hold me back, I'm sorry, I don't have anything against you. So don't take it personally and develop a thick skin too, because there's going to be a lot of haters out there in the world no matter what you try to do that's great, not just because of who you are ethnically, but also if you try to do good things and be a good person. So just know that that's a little piece of the pie there, I think, too, that you're going to have to face, whether it's hair and makeup that they like to rag on about.
Oh, they're going to rag on your hair no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, look at how gorgeous she is, and look at how gorgeous she is. I mean, they're still going to find saying, I don't like that eyeshadow. They just have a way to do that. What are the things that you think are key to developing that kind of thick skin, and how do you handle that when you end up being in a position where you are challenged to be gracious, perhaps, but you have to kind of stand up for yourself? Whomever.
That's rough because a lot of times when it comes to the haters out there, it doesn't matter what kind of coverage you have, what you say, or how accurate you were, or what a great scoop you got for the station. But if they're not feeling your earrings, they're not feeling your earrings.
It's so petty.
And it's so petty, and it's discouraging because it totally undermines everything that we try to do. But sadly, those are kind of the people who will go fire up their BlackBerry or computer and let you know it. The way I've gone about it during many, many years of I hate your hair, I hate your whatever, like I hate your dark nail polish, whatever, is I really think that that's one person, and it's people are more apt to voice their passion when it's negative. When it's positive, they'll think it at home, but they're not going to share it with you. But when somebody is pissed because they don't like what you're wearing,
oh, it's okay. Sorry. No, that's not a bad word. It's okay.
They will let you know. And over the years, the easiest part of it really to keep a healthy balance is people can blow sunshine and make you and inflate your head in grandiose fashion, and many people in the business allow that to happen. But I say, I don't really listen to the good, I don't really listen to the bad. I kind of go with my own compass, the people around me who I trust, my supervisors, the people in the business I really trust. Because the moment you start believing that you are the biggest thing in TV news ever to come, you are going to get crushed when the moment person one calls you and says, you know what, Francis Rivera, you're just a tranny in a dress. You know, and I've heard everything. I have heard everything.
I had a drag queen named Francesca Maxime.
There you go. See? So,
Oh, great.
maybe you're the good old make you smile for the day, but God, don't. I mean, just you can't really believe both. And when you do get praise, and it's from people who you respect and you trust, those are the ones that actually mean so much more than all the stuff that you'll end up hearing through the years of it.
Sure. True. Good. Okay. It's 3:00. But do we? Where did you want to end? You're okay right now? You're still okay. You guys are 15 minutes, so 3:15. Okay, so maybe one or two more questions, and then we can open it up to questions on the floor and whatever. What do you really think is the role of a journalist today, and what is your opinion on like citizen, journalism and eye-reporting journalism and all those kinds of things? Obviously, I think one of the things I learned at 5, and I think Francis, I read something where you said the same thing, which I think all journalists do, is pretty much you're trying to give people access to information that they need to enhance their lives. You're trying to give people an opportunity to know more about their world that perhaps they hadn't had a chance to, catch up on. You're trying to, deduce things and help them figure it out. Help figure it out to make it easier to digest for them. But how do you go about, thinking about that now, and also, do you think it's fair and balanced? What's your role as a journalist these days, and how do these new citizen journalists and stuff play into it?
Blogging?
The blogging, or the iReports, or I have my own little video camera, the things that you see on CNN, all those kind of things. I mean, where do you think we're headed?
I think it's a little scary.
Very scary.
You know why? Because every journalist, we have a rule book that we have to follow. But if Nina wants to go out there and shoot some video of a preschool story, she has no rules to follow. And for her to put it on the internet and say, well, look at this. Babies are not getting snacks when they shouldn't. I mean, there's no context to the story. Like we have, we can't give you our opinion. We don't give you our opinion in the news. Anybody who's a television reporter who's worth their salary is not supposed to give you their opinion. But a lot of times now, what's being taken as, I'm going to go on the internet and find the real story. You're getting somebody's opinion and taking it as fact. And so I just have an issue with that. I mean, if it's being posted as, okay, this is just opinion, then fine, but it's not. People are, especially I feel young people are saying, well, I'm getting my news, I'm going to the internet to get it. Well, sometimes you're not getting news and you think you are. You're just getting some person's ideas about something or half-truths. And so that's what makes me nervous about it. And sadly, I think that television news is taking a hit from all these internet bloggers and these new different, I don't know, I wonder we're being hurt by it, and not fairly, I don't think. So that's my opinion about it.
I'll take what you're saying, because I know a while ago I had my review, and I told him I would like to add video content to the NECM blog. And he said, oh, that's a great idea. Maybe you can use your webcam on your phone and you can take a video of Ruth Regina working out. I was thinking, you must be kidding me. I'm thinking anybody out on the street can do that. And I'm pretty sure for you people, if you hear about some person from the street putting together some kind of package, you're thinking, all the years I put into getting to where I'm at, and I'm almost being undercut by some guy with no experience, and no ability to tell the story without a bias.
Right. So
I can understand why you guys would probably be offended, although at the same time, feeling like the rug is starting to slip right from under you. So, I worked covering sports for a couple of newspapers before, so I understand what goes into it. And while I could I understand why people like to get involved, and that's what the whole idea is, I don't see exactly the value of what, when Sam Jones out on the street with his video recorder, how much of a contribution that is. I mean, I can understand if it's some kind of breaking news story where you catch a fire just as it started, even before the fire engines,
Sure.
get there. That might be valuable. But I think I saw one television station airing someone's video of turkeys in their yard. Some wild turkeys running around in their yard, and I'm thinking, who cares? There might be a small space for it, but I don't put too much value on it.